Back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. We're just going to get straight into the Streamline community messages. Once again, thank you for your input. And like I said, we march forward for justice for Jay Slater and all the other cases we follow as well to try and resolve and hopefully get a good conclusion. Psycho Naught for Life goes on to say, during my 40 years on this earth and experiencing countless legitimate missing persons cases, I've never seen a bunch of druggos, lowlife and ex-cons come out the woodwork to paint a story which goes 100% against common sense and logic. That is a really, really good point. A very good point. And I agree with you that the story that they've come up with is when you actually sit back and really listen to people like Ayub, Lucy, Brad, Brandon, it just doesn't make sense. And a lot of people in the early days who actually come out to try and fabricate a story which none of us believe. Apart from the accident crew and the people involved in Jay's disappearance, Betty Boop says they want this closing as soon as possible. Since that vid, a certain male has emerged of him stood behind Jay at the NRG. Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. And like I said, the Anna goes, that was from Betty Boo. Anna goes, which male? So I presume it's obviously the young guy who turned up at court. I'd assume at the end of the day, who says technically he met Jay Josh met Jay on a plane going out there and became close with him out there in Tenerife. Doreen, I don't think any of them will be there in person. They have made slip-ups. Maybe video link with super glue in their mouths. I'm afraid the verdict will be accidental death. It is a very sad situation for Jay's family. Let's just hope something comes out of the blue. To be honest, Doreen, a lot of people I don't think are hopeful in this case because, like I said, I think the accident group and the people involved in the Rugs Wars are very, very quite powerful people, and it depends how far the family are willing to go. Will they just leave it, or will they carry on and get a decent lawyer involved, a private investigator, and still look for justice in another court? Sean says, even B, though Ophelia said the blanket wasn't from the Airbnb, let's assume she isn't mistaken. It must be there, surely. The police should have checked it for Jay's DNA, definitely. It should still be in there, shouldn't surely? The police should have bagged it up. But the useless police, there I doubt. Yeah, I think, Sean, I've always said it, I think money was involved in this, and this is why the initial search of them was very, very flimsy, and it's only because they lost control of this case. But so many people talking about, hey, did this really happen to this young man, Jay Slater, that they looked into it a couple of weeks later a little bit deeper and made out they were, a couple of weeks later going through hell and earth to find Jay. But I think the Guardia Civil always knew where he was and what happened to him. Kay says the lady in Masker Mountains with the Ring doorbell featured holds all the answers. Apparently, she was told to delete it, but she can describe it. I agree. Kay, there's a massive possibility there is some truth in that, but it's yet to be proven. I do think there's a degree of truth in it, but it's when it happened we don't know. And who was he fighting with? Was it were they fighting against Brad, Brandon, Jay? Who knows? But like I said, I honestly think Jay had gone before, but I do think there were altercations with Brad and Brandon not willing to do what maybe Ayub and the rest of them have said to do, to obviously cover themselves, cover their tracks. Rachel Chadwick. Weirdly, I think Ayub will turn up and possibly Brad. It'll be interesting to you what Brad says and if he corroborates what Josh says, collaborates, that's supposed to say what Josh says. Yeah, I agree. That's a good point. Bebo goes, why is there so much attention put on Jay, I just think that there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with Tom H in the past. There's a lot going on in the area he was from. Beef with not just Tom H. I think other people as well. I think, and I do think that Jay got himself involved with Lucy, who we know that was involved in Ruggs, and I think things got out of control. And like I said, if Jay was holding something for someone, even though he wasn't involved, he's going to get in trouble if that bag was taken off him. People say it was taken, the doorman had dodged out there, and the doorman took the stuff and wouldn't give it back. There are a lot of different stories out there, but what we got to do is just hope that someone else comes forward if like I said, this is deemed as an accident by the coroner's court. Let's hope not, because like I said, I think so much information has gone to the coroner, the new coroner, and I hope that he acts upon it. MWG should not get involved in cases if he can be threatened, intimidated, or paid off. I'm correct. I think he is an ex-police officer. Yes, it is, Claire. He is an ex-police officer. But like I said, I don't think he was in the force a long time. I wonder why. MWG got too scared. He was uncovered a seedy world of rug dealing and mysterious death accidents. The place is corrupt, from the bars, restaurants, hotels, the police, the council, very well, said Caroline, all run by rug dealing foreign gangs, all the above getting backhanders. MWG was warned off. That's why he changed his theory. I agree, Caroline, 100%. Most of the stuff you said there, I do agree with, because like I said, he got in too deep. Tez Locker says, wonder if Ayub says in court, you know what I'm saying. That's a good one. I like that, Tez. Numpty, DTR new Knight Rider, who, if I remember correctly, did car rentals. That's really interesting. It's mad how they're connected. I agree. I would like to see Brandon, and I would like to know where Brad went. And I think here's the weak link. I will see you there, Ali, and best wishes to you both. That's Claire. Thank you very much. 4 days he was MIA. Interesting, Sean. Hi, Marvin Ali. Hope you're very well. Hi, Rachel. We're very well, thank you. Hope you're good too. Hello. Leslie says, I think this forthcoming inquest, especially with it now being over 2 days, kind of proves they are taking this seriously. Will this be very interesting to see who, if any, will actually attend justice for Jay? I think we'll get a few people there, but I think they'll be well prepared, because they definitely have some kind of lawyer or solicitor behind them on this. Sean says, I think when they all don't turn up, the police will step in, and of course the family won't drop the coroner's court. Can recommend it. Yeah, see what happens. Just have a little bit of my drink there. I'm trying to get rid of a small cold, bit of ginger and lemon. Little Miss Madhead, the Organa video link. I said about DTW from the start, the club's been closed because he died there, and any evidence, or will risk so they closed and cut the losses, just move on. I said all this, Lucy mum slugs, they got a secret, really could be Brandon in love with Lucy. When he found out that they was getting jiggy, he saw his revenge. Ayub could be... oh AP. I think we know what that means. I think slug a lot to do with the rugs, but not Jay. It's probably his rugs that he had. The Guardians of Phil will kill Slug, he found out. I think that all your Slug knows Ayub because the rugs. Ayub is a dark, disturbing, lost soul for sure. Rachel, and then was just trying to scam GoFundMe. I keep Brad left Jay for D. Yeah, I do. I agree. Brad knows a lot more, but I think he covered because he told the truth from the start, and I think it collaborates maybe what Debbie and Warren were thinking. But like I said, I think because Brad was the one that's, you know, told his mum everything from the start. And I think half of it was relayed to Debbie that he could still be alive, I think, at that time. Whereas I do think Rachel and Brad knew he'd already passed, as well as the rest of them who were involved. Roofman says it looks like a replica, not Jen. Interesting. Evenall and Marvin, thank you very much. Christine, I hope you're well. Thank you for your support. Leslie said, let's hope this is up and coming inquest blows the lid off the accident theory and those connected are brought to justice, because personally, I think there are a whole load of people involved in Jay's demise, whether it be directly or indirectly. Let's pray for the best possibly outcome. Thank you. Lee says, I still think Brandon killed him probably in accident and panicked, and that's why nothing makes sense. Do you know something? I do think the Ruggs had a lot to do with his demise, and I do think they probably tried to basically try to bring him round, and he didn't come round at the end of the day. But and I think it's to do with the Ruggs ring, and this is why I think the Guardians of Phil had basically covered it by not really telling us what was on that CCTV, which was crucial. Lee says everyone thought it was wrong that them two wasn't investigated in the first place. Yeah, that was dodgy from the start. That was bizarre. What's that horrible twang in the background? I'm sorry, it was just probably the mic, too close to the mic. Christopher. Tinu says, does anyone know if Marvin's done a reaction on Bobs and Bits? Yeah, I did do it a couple of weeks ago. For someone who knows the Bristol area well, she was pronounced Flaxborton, Burton, sorry. Anybody that lives in here knows that is pronounced Flaxborton. Strange. So we're up to date, people. Dean, Tonino, Christopher, Lee, Leslie, Ruthman, Christopher Smith, Little Miss Madhead, lovely to hear from you. Thank you for being a full member. Sean, Rachel, good to hear from you again, sweetheart. Claire, Numpty, Caroline, Mike Jakes, good to hear from you. Definitely a rubbish cop, I like that. And thank you, Claire, Bebo, Rachel Chadwick, Kay, Sean, thank you for commenting. Doreen, appreciate you. Saukernaut for life. Thank you for your comment. And like I said, we march on, people. There's a lot more coming up on Jay. I'm probably going to go into some of the really main facts in this case a bit later. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. Do tell your friends, your family members to subscribe as we're trying to hit the 7,000 mark. Thank you very much for your input.